Hi everyone, thank you for joining me this week. So this week, rather than talking about a body part, I wanted to talk about this week's current energies because they've been fairly intense. I don't know if you guys have been feeling it, but I know I certainly did. You know, Friday I was having that dark soul day, broaching on kind of anxiety, depression, and just kind of like feeling a little bit, yeah. And I know that anything that I'm going through or anything that I'm feeling, I know there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just kind of part of the ascension process that we're going through at the moment, and kind of in just clearing things, but we've got to feel it and to sit in it to heal it. And I know that I would come out at the other end of it much more expanded. So whatever we are going through at the moment, it is for purely the purpose of expansion, and I feel it's expanding the heart energies and the heart space and allowing us to step into our sovereignty. So sovereignty is stepping into your own power and your own energy and recognizing your own broken self with strength and love and light, and really standing in it and really shining in it. But sovereignty is also as well kind of pulling back and going back to self and knowing yourself in your fullness and back to your beautiful unique vibration and standing within that, which is bit difficult at the moment. You know, there's lots of things going on in the external, and also as well over lifetimes, past lifetimes, this lifetimes, we will have collected traumas. You know, this is part of the human journey and there's nothing wrong with it. It's all part of the ride, it's all part of the human experience. But right now we kind of need to be clearing away each layer of these traumas in order for us to step away from it into another timeline, a higher timeline, that we can then walk forward being our genuine selves, in our own genuine love and our own genuine power and our own genuine light. So this is what we are all experiencing at the moment. So releasing old programs and old trauma behaviours, you know, and it could be one unique trauma, it could be a cluster of traumas. It doesn't really matter what the trauma is. It's just really how the bodies and the DNA and the layers record it. So at the moment, all the energies are coming in is to kind of rewind all those recordings right back to your genuine vibration, because your genuine vibration is so needed at this time to fit into all the slots, into the big jigsaw piece that's going on at the moment. So it's kind of, you know, some people are, so we're all kind of jigsaw pieces, and some of us are floating above and a little bit higher, and it's just waiting for people to process these traumas and these layers of ourselves to then just slot into place, because we are all connected to one another. There's no getting around that. Energetically we are all connected, so whatever one is experiencing will have an impact on the next human being. So one part of trauma that keeps coming up at the moment with people coming in is allergic reactions to other people, which is a bit concerning, because if you're kind of like going to the supermarket, the last thing you want to be doing is going into and this is subconscious level, so you'll feel tired and just kind of like, oh Joe, I just want to go home and sit on the couch rather than put on my shopping away. So that might be a sign that you've gone into a flight or fight response, just going to the supermarket. So it's holding that belief that another human being can harm us, and holding your sovereignty. When you are there in your sovereignty, you actually recognize that another human being cannot harm me because I am in my sovereignty and I'm holding my energetic value. And our energetic value is the same frequency as love. You know, that's the stuff we are all made from. That's the stuff the universe is all made from. So when we come away from it, it changes our frequency. So you'll feel it in the body when you're coming away from it. So the frequencies will hold in your body and they'll let you know, and they'll tell you when you're coming away from love. So other people are beneficial to us. Other people tell us a lot about ourselves. So we fear what we mirror as well. So if you're feeling a little bit frustrated, or some people as well at the moment maybe really venting, really vocalizing, and in a way it's kind of a good thing, because some programs have taught us not to vocalize when we feel unsafe. That we'll just kind of like sit there really, really quietly, like a bunny in headlights, and not say anything. Whereas when you're in your sovereign self, it's, you can either, you've got choices. You've got the choice to walk away without even an explanation. You could just walk away from the situation, because loving yourself is more valuable, and your worth when you can do this, in walking away from a situation that doesn't match your vibration. Your self-worth when you can just walk away and not even give an explanation. Or you can say, with all due respect, I love and respect you, and I don't have to take any of your abuse, thank you, but I don't have to take it, and that is kind of like standing in your own self-worth as well. But we've learnt programs to keep quiet, and it's important you don't have to be mean, you don't have to be nasty. It's everything is done in love and with peace, but it's just to literally say, if you can't respect me in my space, then you're not invited into it. So I'm walking away, or you need to walk away. So you've got the choice when you are a sovereign being. And when you are sovereign, it makes you feel safe, because you know your self-worth. You can stand in your own power. You feel safe in your own power. But stripping away these traumas allows us to stand more within our sovereignty. So beautiful thing, kind of like Friday I woke up having a bit of a dark soul day, and my husband said, right, come on, whoa, it's kind of like, she's on one here, let's get her out of the situation. He's a great Wendy handler, he's brilliant. So he says, right, get in the car, we'll go to the supermarket, because that's kind of like supermarkets equivalent to date night in it at the minute, so that's where we went. Didn't get there because I'd realised that in that stress and fluster I'd forgot my purse. So we just got some fuel for the car and gave it a run, because obviously lockdown, we're not getting out much, so the battery needed charging. Had a run round up the motorway, came off a roundabout, and as we were coming off the roundabout, literally a swan flew past the car. You don't see that every day, do you really? So the swan flew past the car, and as we went round and underneath the bridge, and that's the last we saw of it. And as we came round the roundabout, we actually saw the swan land in the middle lane of the roundabout, and just literally just tucked its feet under, tucked its wings under, head up like that, just sat in the middle lane, facing on all the oncoming traffic with kind of like just grace, poise, and such magnificent power. So little red van came kind of like hurtling towards the swan. I'm like, oh God, please don't hit it, it's beautiful. But the van slowed down, just stops in front of the swan, and you could see him thinking, what on earth am I going to do here? And he just slowly just went round the swan, and the swan just kind of like still sat there, placed itself in, the lane of adversity, but with such poise, grace, knowingness, love, just sat there and thought, you know what, the adversity will go around me. So to me, that was a beautiful thing to watch, because it prompted me to realise all these, the energies and the uncomfortableness that we were feeling kind of at that time, it's about sovereignty and stepping into that. that we may be placing we may be experiencing adversity where people may ask us difficult questions or want us to do things that our sovereign self does not want to do. So when you are sovereign, you don't have to give an explanation. It's kind of, it's not for me, walk away. If that person continues to make you feel guilty, to make you feel bad about yourself, then it is kind of like a pattern of abuse. But please recognize it. They don't mean to. It's just a program they are probably playing to kind of help you realize your sovereignty, in that we then in that moment get to choose, do I become victim and play that role, or do I play master and play that role? And the victim role will be kind of like shriveling, oh God, I'm really hurt by this, and I'm feeling very weak and vulnerable. Or in that moment you can choose, I'm a sovereign being, I'm a being of love, love heals all, I don't have to explain myself, I make my own choices for my own being, and you therefore become master. You're not hurting anymore. This is one way of purging the traumas. This is one way of purging abuse systems, and literally just kind of like quietly walk away from it. You don't have to explain anything, just walk away from it. Or like this one, you're just sitting in your hold your own, and it's kind of like, no, not for me. Adversity, go around me. I'm not having it. I'm not holding on to it. I'm not attaching to it as well. I'm not picking it up, and I'm not attaching to it. I'm going to allow it. Yeah, I can recognise it. I can see it. It's going to go around me. It's going to go around me. So that was a valuable little beautiful thing to witness, this one, kind of on Friday. I'm sure it was okay and it just flew off. But yeah, just really interesting. So stay in that grace, receive, give thanks, just be. If you are feeling like you are anxious and a little bit depressed and kind of like just feeling that little bit fatigued and yucky, remember grace. Grace is receive, give thanks, just be. So I put it in the infinity symbol, receive, give thanks, just be. So to receive love and to re-energize ourselves, and because we are energetic engines, so to speak, so when we are giving all the time, and we'll give to spouses, we'll give to family members, we'll give to our children, we'll give work, there are lots of spaces and opportunities for us to give. However, as beings, we have forgotten to receive, we have forgotten to re-energize the machine. So, and I hate to call the human as a machine, because we're not, we're so much more than that. So it that doesn't, kind of like bear us any honour really. But coming back to yourselves, re-energize yourself. So you have to be in the receiving mode. So receiving mode, how do I be in receiving mode? Because I just don't know how. So the receiving mode are there are lots of choices that you could do to do this. Just be in it. Just be in it. Just feel it. Don't attach to it, but just feel it. Recognise it. Be the observer in it. And that's fine. But let it go around you. Hold the knowing that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Everything is impermanent. Nothing is permanent. Hold that thought. Breathe. Take the breath. If you're out and about, or if you're with a client or anything like that, and you're starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, take 3 breaths. Just 3 breaths. Realign yourself. If you're feeling really, really anxious, go up to 10 breaths. As many as you need. Really, really long, lovely, beautiful, deep breaths. You may even start to feel the tingle in your hands, but then you'll start to feel the peace come back within you. The breath, it's all in the breath. The breath is life. We can all do it, so there's no excuse. So it's all in the breath. So that's one way of coming back. Also, as well, to come back into your sovereignty and receiving mode as well is recognizing your worth, your value. So coming back to your unbroken self. So basically, traumas can leave us a little bit broken. So it's kind of like a £10 note. You know, crumple it up, stick it in the washing machine, do whatever with it. If you So it's experienced trauma, but if you were to take it in a shop, you could still spend it. It's still worth £10 note, and that is you guys. So no matter whatever trauma you have been through, the trauma is basically there to bring us back to recognizing our worth and sovereignty. You are still valuable. No matter what you have been through, you're still valuable, and there is an unbroken self still there waiting for you. And this is what we are all clearing at the moment. It felt so uncomfortable. Do nice things for yourself. Know your worth in lighting a candle for yourself every day and say thank you to me from me. You know, it's kind of like sing happy birthday to yourself, you know, whatever it is. To come back into your worth and sovereignty. Have a nice bath, light some candles, put some oils in, put some oils on your feet, you know, if you've finished work. Have a bath, a foot soak with some Epsom salts in, you know, something that is a ritual, something to do every day to just bring you back into that recognising your own self-worth, that I am worth all of these things that I do for myself. I am worth it. And then all the things that other people may do for you, then you can actually be in receiving mode and actually receive it with grace, and, you know, really say thank you, I really appreciate that, and I really deserve it, and I'm really worth it. So you deserve abundance, you deserve love. Mainly, you deserve love so much. You deserve peace, you deserve not to suffer. You deserve nice things. So you deserve it all. So receive it, but you've got to be to receive it. You've got to be worthy to receive it. So we are learning to be creator beings as well at the moment, and you need to know your self-worth in order to create on that new timeline. So that new timeline that we are all stepping on at the moment is kind of like a blank chalkboard, and it's literally there. Go create, kids, because anything could happen, anything that you want. And this is the excitement around being creative beings and what we are stepping into. There's lots of excitement within it. But you have to know your self-worth in order to manifest and put in little wishes and manifestations on your timeline. But if subconsciously you're not feeling self-worth, you know, your manifestations are not gonna come in. So say thank you for it before you've even received it. Even, you know, that's even a good one. I deserve it, I'm worth it. Thank you for everything that hasn't even arrived yet. Thank you. And really be conscious about what you would like to create in the next timeline. Because it could get exciting once you've released all the traumas, about what you could actually bring in. So even though these maybe last 2 weeks weekend, even though we've had Valentine's Day, which has been really interesting, lots of love programs, and you know, I can imagine there's been lots of people venting. Nothing wrong with venting. So basically, I think there's been lots of venting because trauma has been coming out. So it's kind of, you know, your nearest and dearest gets it, but you know that they love you, so you know that you can be your genuine self around them, even if it is kind of like a mopey mess, or kind of like really standing up for yourself. You know that that other person absolutely loves and adores you really deep down, so you know that you can be in that moment whatever it is you need to be. So whatever has come up, whatever you've vocalized, is fine, because that is actually ultimately your genuine truth. You're not selfish, you're not mean, you're being genuine. So the throat has been a little bit, and it's really risen stomachs, you know, some traumas out of the heart and and up into the vocal space. Nothing wrong with it. You are still loved. Take judgment out of it. There isn't right or wrong, good or bad, doesn't exist. Take that out of it. And again, that kind of like leads you back to your self-worth as well. So you've got this. Doubts are okay as well. Honour the doubts. They just lead you back to certainty. So and about what you want. So doubts are kind of like when we feel, I don't quite know what I want. I don't quite know what I want to do. It's fine. It's all fine, because it will lead you back to a place of, well, you know what you don't want. So then from there you can grow what you do want. So it feels uncomfortable right now, but it's all expansion into the heart space. So when you've received, only then can you give. And boy, you know, a lot of you, once you've kind of like had that broken heart and you've let that light in and out, boy, you are going to give lots and lots of love. So I will leave that love note with you there. Enjoy these energies, because they are pretty tricky energies coming up. But just value yourself, value the experiences, because we are learning to kind of like to choose what we want to throw away and what we want to keep. So value the big clear out, shall we say, for the big shift, and enter into a new age of creation. So I will leave that with you there, guys. Love you lots. See you later. Take care. Bye.